Welcome back to episode 132 of the Guardian Project podcast. I'm your host, Andy, and Coil Magic players are like cats around a Christmas tree. They get fixated on mesmeric orbs and attack.
Ah, yes, they certainly do that, especially
although
when
my
it's on
cats are
turn
pretty
2.
good. My cats are pretty good, though. They like to be under the tree, and they do stare at those mesmeric orbs, but they don't really mess with it. We're pretty lucky. I think we are not the norm. Cat owners.
Do you put any garland or anything like beads on your Christmas tree? Because I know your cat plays fetch with beads, and I was wondering if maybe.
Yeah. So our cat, if you haven't heard before, when he was a kitten, we had like those Mardi Gras bead necklaces. We had one of them, and he started carrying it around. That is the exact same thing that we use for garland, and occasionally he will go to pull at it, but we're usually there when it happens. But they've never knocked down the tree, and we only put soft ornaments around the bottom of the tree, and like very rarely will they like rub their faces against them. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, they just want to sit under it on like the tree skirt, but they don't mess with it. So
nice. Well, I'm your other host, Mike, and I was gifted actually my own tree decoration in the form of Aurum Samite Healer. It's the first wheel ornament that I've ever received.
Please listen carefully.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all things Magic the Gathering.
But mostly Commander.
It is the holidays. I can't believe this year is almost over. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, that is coming up this weekend. New Year's is right around the corner, and I wanted to talk about a holiday stream that I'm actually going to be on. So at the time this episode airs, the stream will have happened. It's an afternoon stream with Adam the Gathering. And so I want you to go check out the VOD. If you are not following me on social media, if you are, you'll definitely see the tweets and the replies. And if you're in Discord, I'll post announcements there. But it's actually a holiday, wintry, Christmas themed stream with Twitter friends Miss Eldritch and Mr. Bevers. And I wanted to talk about the deck that I'm going to be playing. So we were asked to put together holiday themed decks or just like winter themed decks. And so I had an entire thread, but before I go through the other ideas, I want to talk about the one that I landed on, which is another art tribal theme. So I guess not art tribal, but more of an art themed deck where everything that's happening in it is pretty consistent. So we did a stream long time ago with art themes, and I did Bent Knees with Lysa, and I thought that was fun. Mm-hmm. So now I'm doing a Kangi Sky Warden deck called Birds Fly South for the winter, and all birds in the art have to have at least one bird depicted as either flying down or like landing because they're going south.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like this. I'm just going through the cards right now.
And there's a couple here that have been, a lot of them, they're definitely flying south. Like Mind Shrieker seems really fun. You get a little bit of mill in this deck. It's definitely flying down. Essior Wardwing Familiar from Commander Legends, which is a 1/3 flyer that says spells your opponent's cast that target one or more commanders you control cost 3 or more to cast. That's really great. It's definitely flying down. But I've had a couple that I had to ask questions on, and I want your opinion. So the first one here is Warden of Evos Isle. And if you're listening, go look up these cards because I want your opinion as well. So Warden of Evos Isle is a 2/2 bird wizard for 2 and a blue. Flying, it says creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less to cast.
I think this one's taken off, Andy.
So listen, I think what happened here is it's definitely looking down at something.
Yep.
And I have a feeling what's happening right now is it's just like hovering because it's about to swoop down on something.
Yeah, this is its first hop. It's hopping 2 feet in the air so that I can just dive bomb whatever's there.
Bombing.
Sure,
so
I can get behind that.
We asked the Discord. The Discord seems to be on my side here with definitely flying down. So I did have to specifically select a version of Empyrean Eagle, in my opinion. So Empyrean Eagle is from Core Set 2020 and Kaldheim Commander. And I think I'm going to have to go with the Kaldheim Commander version, although maybe you can make the argument for the Core 2020. But there's like in both, neither of the main bird are flying down, but the birds in the background, there's definitely one flying down in the Kaldheim Commander version.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. Like, there's definitely, the birds are flying all over the place behind this Empyrean Eagle. One of them's definitely going down.
The next one that I had one with a question on was Tashar Ancestors Apostle. And I want you to tell me what you think here. Like, describe this artwork.
Okay, so it's Tashar standing on the ground with his left foot planted in front of him. And there's kind of like a whoosh of power coming from where he plants his foot, which could mean that Tashar just landed on that foot in that spot. So you could make that argument. Either that, or he's about to take off or cast a spell or something like that. But he's definitely grounded the way he is right now.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of like, and what the Discord said as well, which was it looks like a helicopter landing.
Sure.
You know, when the wind is blowing, and you can definitely see the grass is moving around here. Like Tashar is definitely landing. Mm-hmm. And then now I am running Allrund God of the Cosmos,
yes,
but I'm running it for Haka, Whispering Raven on the backside,
who is definitely landing on a branch. Absolutely, for sure.
Definitely landing on a branch and is flying down. Now, I do want to talk about the thread of other commanders that I had looked at building. So
sure.
I had an idea for O Christmas Tree, which was Door in the Siege Tower, and it was all of the artifacts were ornaments and no other creatures.
Okay, sure, yep.
Okay. And then I had, okay, for those of you who have seen the movie White Christmas, it was play the most boring mono white commander you could play.
we just lost 10 listeners.
We sure did. I had an idea for the 12 Days of Christmas. And the only goal was to make 5 soul rings. Now, I didn't know who the commander would be. You could do it a few different ways. You could play probably Brutaclad. You could maybe do Adrix and Nev. So you've got Izzet, or you could do
it pretty easily with Osgear.
You could do it with Osgear. Now I did have people say, well, there's more than just 5 rings in that song, because it's 5 starting on day 5 through day 12.
That's
but
true.
I said, no, I'm just going to make 5 soul rings. That was the point. I thought about the song, The Christmas Shoes. Now hear me out. It's not the whole song. So it's The Christmas Shoes, and the commander is Pia and Kira Nalar, so mono red. And you play Chandra, the Fire of Kaladesh, the flip Chandra, and you just have out on the battlefield a Swiftfoot boots or like Lightning Greaves. Mm-hmm. She bought her mom a pair of shoes. Forget the rest of the song, because Chandra's mom does not die. Her father actually dies in the story. Well, I guess he was gone. We don't actually know, because it's the heart of Kieran. So, forget the rest of the song. But that was, the Christmas shoes. Yeah, it was a lot of fun trying to come up with ideas for this stream. I landed on the birds flying south only because I felt like it was a lot easier to replay, and then I would get more use out of the deck. So for selfish reasons, I wanted to build a bird deck, but also it's really fun to pick out birds that are actually flying south. And it does make me change up the deck. I did go with the snow, a snow-covered land theme, so there are a couple of birds that do care about snow themes, like Rime Feather Owl, which has power and toughness equal to the number of snow permanents in play.
Blizzard Strix cares if you just control one other, but going to fetch a basic, you get that right there.
Exactly. I got to play. I'm running the card. Search. Is it Search for Glory? Yeah, Search for Glory, which you can search for a snow permanent, so I can actually go grab one of my snow-covered lands.
Perfect.
Or a legendary card, so I can grab the original Kangi. So I'm pretty excited. So that's coming up this Wednesday. Again, it'll be after, or it'll be before this episode airs. So I'm very, very excited for that. But that is not what our main topic is this week. Coyle, what is our main topic this week?
This week, since we already said we're in the holiday season, we both celebrate Christmas, and so we are going to talk about our 2022 Magic Christmas wish list. We're going to go down all of the products that we are going to see in the year 2022, and what in particular we're looking from under our Christmas tree, but maybe it'll take till 2022 Christmas tree. But what we want under our Christmas tree for each set here coming out in 2022.
Yes, and before we do that, we want to thank all of our patrons and everyone who listens to our show every week. Thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support us, you can head to patreon.com/guardianprojectpod and donate for any dollar amount.
And if you're looking for another way to support the podcast, whatever platform you are enjoying the podcast on now, if you could subscribe, rate, review, and leave comments, we would be most appreciative.
Yes, and you can find us online at theguardianprojectpodcast.com. You can find our social media on Twitter at GuardianPod, on Instagram at Guardian Project Podcast, and our gameplay videos on YouTube at youtube.com/theguardianproject. And if you want to email us, you can email us at guardianprojectpod@gmail.com. We will also have a new Twitch page. We mentioned that when we did our announcement last week that we are starting streams up in 2022. As soon as that's up, we're going to be doing a giveaway, and we're going to require that everybody go follow that page so that you can be notified when we go live with our very first stream in January. Now, I think it's time that we send our list off to Santa. I'm going to test some of this because I want... Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Pause. Oh, I played the wrong video. Oh, I'm so frustrated.
You didn't stop recording though, right?
No, I didn't stop recording.
Okay, cool.
I opened up the test audio that I had... I'm so angry right now.
Let's just keep all of this in the episode.
Yeah, right. All right, I would play the music now. All right, so we already know that we have a few sets and what is in those in January. We are going to be seeing both the Innistrad double feature set and Commander Collection Black in January, but we don't know all of what is in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty yet, although previews have started and we are seeing some things. Coyle, tell us what you would like to see in this set.
Well, I think what I would like to see is in line with every Magic player in existence, and I need to see a Secret Lair Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come out alongside Kamigawa and Neon Dynasty. We saw some, I think it was official releases, I hope it wasn't leaks, of those, the art for the theme packs. And I know that the mono black one did feature what looked like a rat. So we definitely could get a Master Splinter right there in Secret Lair, along with a bunch of what looks to be Ninja Turtles as well being printed in this set. So a Secret Lair Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really what the number one thing that I want to see from Kamigawa this 2022. What about you?
So I also had a request for a Secret Lair, but it was not for a Universes Beyond, I guess, crossover here. It was actually for a complimentary set to give us the expensive Kamigawa Legendary lands in the new Neon Dynasty style. So there are a lot of old Legendary lands that are extremely powerful that I run, and I would run more of if I had more of them, like Hall of the Bandit Lord, which is $24 that allows you to tap for mana and you have to pay some life, but if you cast a creature spell with that mana, it gains haste. Or Obero, Palace in the Clouds, which is $85, and it can return to its hand, so it's got a little bit of combo potential. Shizo, Death Storehouse, gives a legendary creature fear. That card is $24 to $34, depending on the printing. Beseiju, Who Shelters All, is $34, and that it makes it so that you cannot have one of your spells countered. And Manamo, School at Water's Edge, did get a reprint in Mystery Booster, but it's still $14 to $16. And I think I could go for another one or two of each of these.
Oh, for sure. I think your choice is a lot more responsible fiscally than my choice. Absolutely seeing reprints of those cards so that they'd be a little bit cheaper, or in some just very cool artwork would be very cool. I know that the Samurai creature type was also something that we saw on Kamigawa in the past. It wasn't super well supported by any other set afterwards, except for by Changelings, because those were the only Samurai printed as far as I know after that. So it would be cool to see a return to the Samurai creature type. Maybe a legendary creature Samurai for a Samurai Matters type of deck would be cool to see. If Bushido comes back, maybe a Bushido Matters commander, like every time Bushido activates, maybe you get something cool with a legendary creature. Obviously, with keywords and stuff that we don't know about yet, this set is still very wide open and could be a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm liking what I see so far. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I really want... I really just want a lot of fun stuff here. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking
And an
for.
Imperial Seal reprint. I mean, that's just a little thing. Just a little thing.
Was Imperial Seal originally in Kamigawa?
I believe so. Or no, it was in Portal 3 Kingdoms. It was in Portal 3 Kingdoms. It was not in Kamigawa. You're absolutely right. But you know what? I would take an Imperial Seal reprint right now anyways.
Okay. All right. I did see that coming. I was like, oh, what notes is Coyle looking at? Because this makes no sense.
I have my own notes where I literally just look at expensive cards and go, this should be reprinted in this set, even if it has absolutely no connection to the set whatsoever.
Okay.
It's just my secret. Hopefully Wizards will listen.
Okay.
So Challenger decks are also coming back in 2022.
These are usually standard decks that you can just open right out of the box and they play very competitively, or they can play competitively.
Yeah, as far as I know, this one is still going to be a standard deck as well. The last time they did something non-standard, they called it Pioneer Challenge deck. So I assume Challenge deck 2022, according to the description released by Wizards, is going to be a standard deck going up to Crimson Vow, Midnight Hunt, and still going to include Adventures of the Forgotten Realm, Strixhaven, Kaldheim, and Zendikar cards in those. My only thing is I don't know if you buy all 4 packs, are you going to get 16 copies of Alrund's Epiphany? Because that's all I see in Standard. Maybe I haven't played Standard in a while, though. Just 4 decks with 4 copies of Alrund's Epiphany, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are playing that new format that Alchemy that doesn't have the issue with Alrund's Epiphany now, I don't think.
Right. Yeah, it definitely got nerfed in that one.
Yes.
So yeah,
I don't know what I'm expecting from Challenger decks. I just hope they're good because I always want more players to play the game.
Absolutely.
So, right now, paper Magic for Standard at least is not really a thing. I actually did see it fire. There were 4 people though at our LGS a few weeks ago. But I mean, 4 people.
Yeah. Hey, it makes it easy to hit top 5.
When we started playing, Standard was, when we started playing in shops, Standard was wildly popular.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were 25, 30 people usually. And then Commander really exploded, and then everybody switched over to Commander at our LGSs.
Oh yeah.
The next product that we will get, which is coming out in April, is Unfinity, the next unset. And what I would like to see here is really just product availability. So there's not a whole lot that we can do about this because of COVID and because of shortages and supply chain issues and delays with the mail. Like, I get it. There's 100 things that are going into the fact that sets are coming out late. I just hope there's enough that I can get some early to do some drafts while it's still popular. You know, last year, Jumpstart, which we're going to talk about because we're getting another Jumpstart next year. Jumpstart came and then went during the pandemic, and people didn't get to really play together with it.
Right.
And I think the set suffered from a Commander perspective, although people weren't building cards like Tiny Bones because discard, a discard themed deck might not be super nice. They didn't get to play with it much unless you had access to the product, which is why I'm hoping that for Unfinity, we have access to the product because we know some of these cards are going to be losing Commander now. Yeah.
It's pretty unfortunate that, we're still talking about availability when you would think 2 years into the pandemic, and you hear about, if you work in other parts of the industry or in other industries and stuff, the things are getting better, but they're still not back there yet. And so it's disappointing that we still have to talk about availability concerns, but it definitely is real. But
yeah.
But to talk about what you just ended your sentence there with, Andy, these legendary creatures that we're getting in Unfinity, we're getting 30 different legendary creatures where over 1/3 of them are going to be eternal legendary creatures, means that we're going to be able to play them in our Commander format without having to have a Rule 0 conversation in order to play them. Obviously, you can still play all of your normal silver border legendary creatures with a proper Rule 0 conversation, but at least 10 where people can't even question it, those are legit black border commanders, baby.
I'm excited. And to be fair, and this question for you, have you ever told someone no to a silver border card ever?
I
I don't think I ever have. And then every time I go, yeah, play it, they've never even drawn it. So it never even mattered.
I've said yes to someone playing the owl that can be like either day or night.
Oh, the circadian?
Yes, but that was just as a commander. The rest of the deck didn't have any silver border in it. And then
okay.
I don't think I've ever told anyone no, but the only other time one of our LGSs did when the unsets come out, sometimes they do silver border legal for a weekend in Commander or something. And personally, I do try to avoid those weekends because I don't particularly like it. I get people like it. It's not for me.
The games were very long that weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't play. I was there playing other things, but I do remember there were some games that were like 3 hours long.
Yeah, I know someone had an Infinity Elemental flung at their face when they had like 500 health or something. And those moments I think are really cool. But if I had 500 health, I would be so salty.
Oh, man. Life gain is a strategy. It's a tough one. Commander damage gets in there, too.
It sure does.
All right. Q2.
Yeah.
What are we getting?
We're getting a bunch of 3-color combinations here in this set, Streets of New Capenna. So this is going to be a standard set. It's the 92nd Magic expansion, and it's inspired by modern urban gangster movies, except they're supposedly all of these gangs and stuff are going to be led by demons, and they're going to be following the 3-color cycle of Esper, Jund, Decrixis, Naya, and Bant.
Yes, so we are getting this, and it's themed around Art Deco Noir. So film noir, which funny enough, when we were prepping this episode and when we talked about Streets of New Capenna before, I looked up the top 10 like US film noir films, and I've never seen any of them. But if you just picture those old gangster movies with like very dim lighting, okay, the movie that plays in
Home Alone.
Movie in Home Alone. Yes. That's a film noir movie. Yeah. So anyway, I am very much looking forward to this set, and I hope that we get the rest of the Triome cycle here. So we got the Triomes in Ikoria. I hope that we get the corresponding Triomes, Esper, Jund, Grixis, Naya, and Bant in New Capenna, and I hope they have their own name there as well, so that it does differentiate them from Shards of Alara.
Yeah, it'll be like city streets or something, or little townships that they're named after. It'd be very, very cool. I noticed, I'm not going to take this note away from you, Andy, though, but I noticed this note right here about a possible return of Abnyxlist.
So I want to see Abnyxlist. Yeah, I'll do my first 2 in a row. That's fine. So Abnyxlist is what it looks to be in this set, right? And like definitely wearing a pinstripe suit. And I would like to see Abnyxlist in 3 colors. We've only ever seen Abnyxlist in mono black. So we've seen it as 3 different planeswalkers. So Abnyxlist of the Black Oath before the curse or whatever it is, the demon that took over Abnyxlist, and then Abnyxlist Reignited, and then Abnyxlist the Hate Twisted from War of the Spark. But I would like to see it in Jund or in Grixis. So that is black, red, green, or black, red, blue. And so I'm leaning more towards a Jund Abnyxlist.
Okay. So
that's black, red, green, specifically because of an Abnyxlist that we've seen in the past, which is Abnyxlist the Fallen. So it is a Abnyxlist demon that had landfall from Zendikar, which makes me lean far more green than it makes me lean blue.
Sure.
But, the original Abnyxlist that we saw in Zendikar had landfall whenever land enters the battlefield under your control. You may have target player lose 3 life. If you do, put 3+1/+1 counters on Abnyxlist the Fallen. So maybe we'll get it in 3 colors. It's still possible Abnyxlist will still just be mono black, though. Sure. I don't know if they want to venture into giving it any other color identity, but I do like seeing 3-color planeswalkers. When we were on Dragons of Tarkir, we got Sarkhan. Is it Sarkhan the Masterless? Sarkhan Dragon?
I know Sarkhan the Mad. I know.
It was Sarkhan Unbroken, which was the green, blue, red one. So we know we've seen planeswalkers in 3 colors, So I would like to see maybe Abnyxlist and Jund. That's my wish list. That'd be a cool thing to see.
I almost want to see Abnyxlist turn back into a creature or something, and be like a 5-color demon that's trying to bring all the demon gangs together or something under. I know you can't do a demonic contract, but demonic contract.
I don't know. I don't know the story behind Abnyxlist, to be fair. Abnyxlist of the Black Oath. I don't know what it was that turned Abnyxlist into a demon. Do you?
Yeah, so he was a general in an army, and he wanted power to defeat his opposing generals, and so he was like, "Hey, demons, give me some power," and then they gave it to him.
Oh, and then he actually just became a demon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So he I know you said like he was like taking over, but that's just him. He's just a demon. That's just him. That's a normal Abnyxlist and his normal mentality.
It's him on a Tuesday. It's just a demon.
Honestly, that really is how he turned. He was like, "Oh, I lead all of these armies and men to go kill," and now he's like, "I don't need them anymore. Now I'm a demon. I'm good."
Wow. Okay.
So that's them, but I think it'll be exciting to see a lot more new demons here, and especially demons outside of Mono Black, like we want to see Abnyxlist. So it'll be cool to see those, and I am particularly excited about new 3-color legendary creatures from this set. We have a lot of them. We don't have a ton of them. So it just would be nice to see more 3-color legendary creatures. I do particularly like the ones that only have 1 color in their casting cost and 2 more colors in like an activated ability or something. So
you're
cross
talking
my fingers there.
Like the Fate Reforged legendaries, like Shu Yun the Silent Tempest.
Yeah,
is that what you're thinking here? So
sure.
Shu Yun was a 3/2 human monk for 2 and a blue with prowess, and it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay hybrid. Red, white, and if you do, target creature gains double strike. So that was also where I went. Now we didn't see those in Ikoria, but maybe we get to see them now because I think they were wildly popular.
Yeah,
there's this Elsha not Elsha the Infinite, Alesha who smiles at death. Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones here.
Yeah, there were even a few 2-color ones that they printed in Jumpstart. It was, a monocolor, and then they had a hybrid color in the activation ability. But that hybrid color included one of the monocolors that the creature already was. So yeah, I think everyone loves those things, and they should bring them back. So I know that the next set in here is something that you might not be super into, but something that I'm going to be super into, and that's
actually there's a few sets this year that I don't know. My expectations, I don't know where they're at right now because they're not, the flavor's not for me.
Right. That I know. And the flavor is like so for me in 2022. It's crazy. So this set is another Commander Legend set, but it is a D&D themed one around the Battle for Baldur's Gate. So obviously Commander Legends was a pretty huge deal to the both of us. For me in particular, I built like 6 or 7 brand new Commander decks just from the partners that came from Commander Legends. So, and a draft environment that I absolutely loved. I know we've only been able to do it a few times, but every single time it's been great. I think this set has really, really big shoes to fill with how well the first Commander Legends did. And they have to do it while also taking into account that not everyone loves Dungeons and Dragons. And that's going to be tough. I know I have a note here that says like, I was kind of looking forward to doing Commander Legends 1 and 2 combo drafts. And maybe the archetypes aren't going to match up and it won't matter anyways, but, it just isn't going to feel totally right mixing like the D&D flavor along with this other flavor. I don't know why I have a problem with that. I do it all the time in like my Morophon deck playing multiverse cards and stuff, but I don't know. It just kind of feels weird in a draft environment.
Yeah, I think the drafts are fine. I honestly feel like though the draft is going to be designed specifically to draft it with itself. So I wonder I think that's going to feel a little chaos drafty then. I'm
fine with chaos drafting. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing to do, but I can see how it will be fun though. I've done it before where we did a chaos draft of multiple Ravnica sets throughout the years, they still slightly synergized. So it wasn't really a chaos draft.
Yeah. So definitely want to see more partners along with more unique legendary creatures, which we're definitely going to get more unique legendary creatures. Whether we get more partners is really the question.
So I'm happy everybody wants more partners. I really am. I actually do enjoy partners. It's getting very complicated with if they do partners like they did in Commander Legends, bring it on. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's just it's giving us more combinations of things we can do.
Our heart goes out to the programmers at edatrek.com.
Yes. There's you're gonna end up inevitably with that Radiant Archangel. I forget what the actual card does. That they had to program, but now only has like 10 decks or less.
Oh yeah.
It's like this it's definitely draft chaff. I don't know. This is the one set I really had. There's 2 items on here. This is one of the 2. I really had a difficult time coming up with things. So what I would like to see is some good reprints here. I would like Arcane Signet again.
Okay.
In this set. I would like to see some good rocks reprinted maybe. And maybe they do a couple of more expensive cards that get reprinted into here.
Yeah,
like
let's do the medallions.
Vampiric Tutor. We had Vampiric Tutor last time. We had Vampiric Tutor last time, right?
We had Vampiric Tutor and we had Mana Drain. Those were like the 2 really big ones.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking the medallions. Yeah. Like Ruby Medallion.
Yeah, Jet
Sapphire
Medallion. Yeah, they're super expensive. We need to get those reprinted.
Okay.
A commander set is absolutely the place these need to be reprinted in.
Yeah. Stick the medallions in there. I think unfortunately they'll probably be at rare or mythic. But put them in there.
Yeah, I'm okay with that though too. I mean, we even got like 3 visits at uncommon. So if we get some more like simple ramp cards like that I can't even think of, because I was never dreaming of playing 3 visits for its like $20 cost what it was before. But now that it's like $4, oh yeah, I'll play 3 visits. I bet there's a bunch of cards like that we don't know about.
I think that one would be one that no one expected. Maybe a Forest Bear. Forest Bears from Portal 3 Kingdoms. It is a 2/2 bear for 1 and a green. That is $37.
That's a good one. That's a good, because it's a 2/2. Well, it's a 2/2 for 2, so it's pretty good.
It's literally a bear.
It is.
And it's in the forest.
Literally and figuratively.
You could put it in a new art forest.
It's no water bear with island walk though. I mean,
this is true.
Let's be honest.
It's not. So next up is Double Masters 2022. Yeah. So last time we saw Double Masters, we got some fun stuff. This is the set where there's double the rare in every pack. And that was a lot of fun to draft. It was a lot of fun to draft because I crushed at the draft we did.
Yeah, double worm coil engines will do that for you.
I did have double worm coil engine, and I also had a sculpting steel to make a third. No, I had a worm coil engine and a sculpting steel to make the second worm coil engine. Yeah. So and getting them both in one game against you was fun to crush you with your own name, your own card there.
It's true. It's true. It did happen that way.
Because this is Double Masters and the word double is in it, and we didn't get it last time, I would like to see a Parallel Lives reprint, and this is the hill I will die on. At some point, we're going to have to get the stupid card reprinted. It's almost $100 in foil now.
Yeah, they might as well do it. I mean, they did doubling season last time. They can do Parallel Lives this time. They can reprint Anointed Procession. There can be a token sub-theme in this set, and they could reprint all of those expensive cards for us. It's what they like to do in Double Masters anyways, and we're going to get some really cool artworks for these, I imagine, especially since Parallel Lives is probably going to be printed at Mythic. It'll never be printed at Rare again. It's always nice.
It could be again. I don't see why it couldn't just be printed at Rare.
I don't know if Wizards will do it.
I mean, it's not like it's a requirement to have in a deck. It's not a. I don't know. We reprinted some things at Rare. They upshifted some things from when they were rares way back in the day, and then they reprinted them. I get the upshift because there was no mythic rare, and they said that maybe it would have been a mythic rare had they had the mythic rarity back then. But I feel like this one could still be at Rare.
It could be. I don't think Wizards will see it that way. I think if they do reprint it, it'll be at Mythic. That being said, in Double Masters, you have twice the chance of hitting a Mythic.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe even 4 times if you're opening a collector booster and it comes with 4 rares and Mythics in those, because 2 of them are alternate art. So always nice to see new reprints. I do hope that this one isn't so heavily themed towards artifacts. I would like to see some more diversity in the reprints that we get compared to what we just got. At the time, I was very excited when the first Double Masters came out because we needed all of those artifacts reprinted. So I'm excited to see new themes in this. And yeah, it'll be cool. The next standard set that's coming out, though, going back to a plane we've been to many times before. And that's Dominaria. We get Dominaria United at the start of the third quarter of 2022. So the original Dominaria was a really cool draft environment. One of the first ones that I really went heavy into drafting at the store and stuff when I could. And then those
Slimefoot in every draft. You just slam Slimefoot in every draft. That's how you play Dominaria.
I see. I always went white because I would always find some equipment and stuff in there, and then I would lose. But I would always have fun. But Dominaria was really cool because it brought a bunch of legendary creatures, brings back a huge part of the storyline that a lot of people like with the Weatherlight and everything. And this Dominaria Reunited, we assume, is going to be fighting against the next big evil, which I don't know if we know yet. We think we know.
But I wrote that I hope this is against the Phyrexians, and we do get to see them. It's been a long time for people who have been wanting to see more Phyrexians, and we have gotten some little teasers recently with Vorinclex being in call time, and we just had the Phyrexian Praetors complete secret lair, and I feel like there's probably a reason, right? I'm hoping this is the reason, but I'm more specifically hoping that we get to see Ashiok return here. So in the Theros Beyond Death story, Ashiok found out about the Phyrexians when Ashiok read Elspeth's mind. So I'm assuming this is where we see Ashiok again. There's a lot of assumptions, but also hunches. And I hope that we see Ashiok here, and that it is specifically fighting. I don't know. Ashiok might fight with the Phyrexians. We don't know a lot about Ashiok, to be fair, and their motivations or where they're even from.
I like to think that there's a group of supervillain planeswalkers that are helping all the Phyrexians, like Tybalt maybe is the one that opened the portal for Vorinclex on call time, and then we know about Tezzeret, and maybe there's going to be just all these. The bad planeswalkers are the ones that are enabling the Phyrexians, but really it's the planeswalkers that are controlling it all. And then we get some like Tezzeret complete, and he's like part Phyrexian or something at that point. And it's Memnite, but it's Tezzeret, not Memnite.
I don't know, because without giving away story spoilers, I'm pretty sure that there is a reference in the newest Kamigawa Neon Dynasty story that had come out that has a character looking for the man with the metal arm.
You know, I thought about that too, and I feel like it might be a red herring because there might be a lot of people.
So?
There might be a lot of people running around Kamigawa with metal arms or biotech arms or something.
That's possible. That's totally possible. Or it could just be Karn.
It could be Karn. It could be Tezzeret. You know, who knows? It could be the greatest thief of the multiverse, and maybe he never died.
Karn is metal, right?
Karn is He's a metal golem. He's living metal.
Let's do it.
Why not? So we mentioned Jumpstart before, and we're going to get a Jumpstart 2022 in Q4 as well. And we mentioned, you know, some of the legendary creatures that we got from Jumpstart. Jumpstart really brought a few legendary creatures, reprinted a few really good reprints, but above all, it was just a good sealed environment to play in. So I'm hoping that we're going to get, again, a few more legendary creatures to build with, a few more really good reprints. The ones I'm mentioning, like Craterhoof and Rhystic Study, both got reprinted in the first Jumpstart. So good reprints like that to keep the value a little bit high, but don't take away from the really good sealed environment.
I am hoping for a selfish reason that we get a specific pack for a specific mechanic. And I would like an Awaken pack and Jumpstart. So Awaken is the keyword ability that it's an alternate cost on cards, and if you cast a spell for its Awaken cost, you get to animate a land by turning it into a 0/0 elemental creature with X +1/+1 counters on it. Usually it'll tell you how many counters on the actual card. There were not enough, and it was the one mechanic I was really hoping we were going to see come back in Zendikar Rising that we didn't get. And I feel like Jumpstart is one of those sets where you can just shove in one or two new cards of a mechanic that might not have been the most wildly popular mechanic, but still give it to the people who wanted it.
For sure. No, it's the perfect opportunity to do that. I mean, people were asking for a better discard matters commander, and they got Tiny Bones. If you've ever seen people play Tiny Bones, which I haven't, but you know,
I've never actually seen it either. I opened one and was going to put it together, but I realized it wasn't really going to be fun. But the first Jumpstart gave us, I believe it was 46 different themes.
Right.
So you you can do this until, I guess until you've redone everything, right? I mean, there's a lot more than just a mechanic, right? There were themes for +1/+1 counters, a theme for elves, a theme for discard, a theme for Phyrexian.
Yeah, there was 5 color, there was lands, there was trees,
life gain, wizards.
Yeah, and that's beside the fact that some of these sets had like 3 different variations of the pack that you could get too. So the number of combinations of decks you could have just gets even more astronomical.
And let me lead into your next point with one of my favorite packs to open from Jumpstart was the Elf pack, because you had an opportunity to open a Craterhoof, and I did that 2 times.
Because
I couldn't believe it.
But there was 2 other things you could get too, and the one was that mythic elf that was worth even more than Craterhoof in the elf pack.
This is true. Or you can get the one that taps for green mana for the number of elves.
Yeah, and it gives all elves a +1/+1. It's just a little lord that they've reprinted like 12 times.
Yeah, so Elvish Archdruid is one option, and then Allosaurus Shepherd is the one that says spells can't be countered, green spells you control, or Allosaurus Shepherd can't be countered, green spells you control can't be countered. It's a 1/1 for a single green mana and says pay 6 until end of turn. Each elf you control has base power and toughness 5/5 and is also a dinosaur.
Seems pretty strong.
So good, and I opened one of those as well. It was all elf packs. Elf pack is the bomb pack to open.
And then it was the reading packs that we got Rhystic Study reprinted in, and also very cool islands with books all over them. Which I think
the one called, I think that one was called Well Read.
Well Read, that's right. That's
Well Read, and it did have the island books.
Yeah, but I know that I built Zerzoth Chaos Rider as a commander from here. I know you built Sethron Herloon General. Mill players out there who love their Persistent Petitioners got Bruvac from this particular set. So again, pretty big shoes to fill. But like you said about Unfinity, and I think you mentioned it already about Jumpstart, availability is going to be big. Keep the prices of those legendary creatures down by keeping the product available. And
they did do reprints of Jumpstart, so that was nice to be able to see that, and I assume it'll also be the same way this time. Now, leading us into quarter 4, we are going to get a set called the Brothers' War. So this will also be a standard set. So the Brothers' War was the fight between Urza and Mishra, in which we actually own the novel in this household. I have not actually read it yet, but I know that my husband has read that and loves that book. And I don't know all the intricacies of that story, but what I would like to see here is potentially an Urza Planeswalker. So we had an Urza Planeswalker that was 5 colors from an unset that is not legal in Commander, but I would like to see Urza as a Planeswalker that you can use in Standard or in Commander.
Yeah, very much so. I know my note on here is maybe an Urza flip Planeswalker, so you could see when his Spark ignited. Because back then in the storylines, like Sparks igniting and stuff, I don't really think was a thing. I mean, I don't even know if they thought about going from plane to plane or anything. The most I know about the Brothers' War is that the Golgothian Silax is the thing that absorbs everything and explodes and starts an ice age. That's the most I know.
Well, speaking of that, the character that I believe gave Urza that Silax was Ashnod, a character whose card, one of the most popular cards in Commander, a very well-known card, Ashnod's Altar, that allows you to sack a creature, get 2 colorless mana, does not have a legendary creature printed yet to represent this character. So Ashnod apparently was Mishra's apprentice and was not on Urza's side, but gave Urza the Silax. It's very, very confusing.
Once she learned that Mishra was going mad with power and fighting Urza just to fight Urza and take control, and
brothers fight, cool it. It's fine. It just happens. Having a brother, I know.
But if you know the artwork on Ashnod's Altar, and if you know the artwork maybe on Ashnod's Transmogrant as well, you would know Ashnod is a very sadistic person, and the fact that she would reach out to help someone because someone's going a little too crazy for them, I mean, it says something.
Yeah, so it sounds like Ashnod is a human, And just looking up some basic information on Ashnod, it said that she was so cruel that people referred to her as Ashnod the Uncaring.
Oh, perfect. Ashnod the Uncaring. There's your legendary creature title. You put some swoopy-doo borders on the top of it. You make it so that she can sacrifice creatures to add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. You make her Grixis, and I will be happy. I will be so happy.
Do you think that the Ashnod they're going to give us is it's just a human creature? It says sacrifice another creature, get 2 colorless mana. That would make sense.
They're
but
not
I feel like
it
would need to be
strong.
something. It's very strong.
Yeah, I think it's just too strong. It's a stretch goal dream. Maybe if you made her cost like 9 mana or something, then it would be fair. But you could just find ways to cheat her out then. So I don't think that's going to be it. But honestly, I think I would be very excited to see an Ashnod legendary creature, even a new Urza legendary creature with more than blue, and a Mishra legendary creature that works in Commander better than the one that's currently printed.
Yeah, I think that's the one that, and I did not play, obviously, when these sets originally had come out in Time Spiral, when we saw the first Mishra, which is a Grixis 4/4 human artificer that says whenever you play an artifact spell, you can search your graveyard, hand, or library for a spell with the same name as it, and if you do search your library, shuffle it. You can't have in Commander multiple cards with the same name. This is being recorded in 2021. If you're listening to this in 2025 and this rule no longer matters, this episode is now just a victim of the times.
But you have to stick around and listen all the way to the end.
But continue. Sorry. Yeah, continue the episode. Finish it. But at this time, Mishra does not do much in Commander. I've seen some people play combo something with it, which I'm sure there's things you can do. I think there's is it something toolkit. There's a toolkit. Is there a toolkit? There's something. Someone told me about a kit.
There's like a spy master's toolkit. Kit. Yeah. You can do that to change like the name of a character or something to another name.
Okay, it's an equipment that says equip creature. It costs 2 and equip 2. Equip creature gets +1/+1 and has all names of non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name. So maybe it's Mishra and Spy Kit, and then you can look for
any other creature that's non-legendary.
But how?
Because Mishra has the name of every non-legendary creature in addition to its own name.
But Mishra says whenever you play an artifact spell, you can search for your hand, graveyard, or library for a card with the same name. So Mishra would have to be cast with this on it. I don't know how this works. I don't know how this works. Maybe it doesn't.
Proteus Staff is the combo I normally see with Mishra, which which when they printed Flibbleflip Totally Lost and War of the Spark, that became a better Proteus Staff, and then Elsha of the Infinite became like the best Proteus Staff deck you could do. But yeah, Proteus Staff was the only really way to make a super viable deck that actually used Mishra as the commander, other than this toolkit. But we're gonna break the multiverse one more time, and this one is it doesn't have a set date of when it's going to get released, but later in 2022, and it's a full commander set called Warhammer 40,000. Ugh. Andy,
so I want to read. Okay, let's read. We're going to read the first 2 bullet points we wrote in our show notes. Okay, so my bullet point says, I don't know what this game is. And then it has the asterisks that you put around like an actual action. And I put insert shrug. I don't know what Warhammer 40K is other than it requires very elaborate armies. And there's a table. And there's so many rulers and tape measures. And it seems just very overwhelming, and it probably is super duper fun, but I've also heard it's really, really expensive.
It's extremely expensive. So the second note here under this says, I love this game. Insert arm thrusts. Because I used to play 40K when I was in, this was 40,000. They call it 40K, if you don't know. There's another Warhammer that's set in like medieval time. They call that fantasy. They call this 40K. So I used to play 40K in high school and a little bit in college, and it was totally fun. The one part that you left out when you were explaining the tables, and literally the most fun part, is you get to roll like hundreds of dice at the same time. Because you might have like an army of 30 characters or something. All of them get to shoot 1 bullet. So you get to roll a die for each bullet that you shoot.
Is it D6 or does it use the full sets of dice?
It uses only D6s as far as I know, as far as I remember.
Okay.
So people just roll up there with, more dice than you've seen me roll up with from my dice containers. So
we know that there's going to be 4 commander decks.
Yeah, each of
them. You said, and then your note says that they're only having 4 commander decks. There may be some people disappointed that they're not going to see perhaps their faction or are they tribes? What do we call?
So that's pretty complicated, Andy, if I'm being honest. So there's like 9 to 10 different main species, I guess is the best way to put it.
Species.
And then within those species, there can be a lot of different sub-factions. So I would say that let's say that there's 10.
Okay, compare it to Magic. Is it like elf and then elf warrior?
It would be like a green elf and a black elf, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in some cases. So there's definitely going to be, people who have armies of Eldar or something. I don't think Eldar is going to become one of these commander decks. My guesses are going to be Space Marines and Chaos and companies, Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Beasts, and Chaos Demons. So the Wizards is going to love that. Space Marines are what you would think, a Space Marine is. They're just superhumans in giant costumes. Tyranids are your stereotypical aliens that have like hive mind type of personalities and organic weapons. So they might shoot like insects at you that burrow into your skin or something. And then
gross. That's like the mummy and those scarabs that creeped me out when I was a kid.
Now imagine those scarabs getting shot out of a cannon from like 200 yards away at your face. No. Yeah, that's what the Tyranids do. And then the orcs are they're very magical in nature, but they don't know it. So orcs
in this do not feel like Gruul Smash.
They feel like so Gruul Smash, it's ridiculous. But it's if all the Gruul Smash people weren't actually strong, but they were magical, and the fact that they thought they were strong is what makes them strong.
Okay.
That's what an orc is. It's really weird. Like they'll paint their cars red, and because they're inherently magical and they think red things go faster, their red cars will go faster than their other cars.
Wow.
So that's the four that I think we're going to get: Space Marines, Tyranid, Orcs, and Chaos. And on top of that, I think if we get Tyranid, we're going to get some new Mutate cards. So if you have a Mutate deck, I would look forward to this particular Tyranid deck. And I do think Space Marines, Tyranid, and Chaos will for sure be 3 of the 4 decks. Orcs is the one I'm not really sure about.
What are a few others? Just give us a few off the top of your head.
Tau, which are like blue aliens that like to shoot from really, really far away. Eldar and Dark Eldar are like your elves and dark elves. A lot of different things that they can do. Imperial Guard are like humans that didn't get the superhuman genome that all of the Space Marines got. So they're more about, squads of 100 people and using mortars and tanks and that kind of stuff. Necrons are like zombie-esque, except they're robots. They're souls that embody robots, not souls that embody like shambling whatevers. And they follow Egyptian-esque god types. So they've got kind of an Egyptian theme there. Like, and the only thing is that maybe they don't want to go like 3 dark, like evil sounding armies and 1 good one. But if you know 40K lore at all, you would know everyone's evil. Everyone is evil. Everyone has their own agenda. Everyone's always out for their own. Even the good guys, the Space Marines with the golden emperor and everything. Oh no, they're out to take over the universe. So everyone's evil.
Well, it sounds like we have a lot to look forward to this year. And that was our Christmas list. That was our wish list for 2022. I am very excited to see what we get next year.
I am too.
And that's it for this week. We want to thank you for listening. If you want to find us online, you can find me on Twitter at Andy Flory.
And you can find me on Twitter at Wormcoil Engine. And of course, we want to give a special thanks to Ryan Nichols, our producer and editor. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And Chris Wolf, who handles all of our graphic design. Thank you for everything that you do. And to all of those of you who are listening, happy holidays if you're celebrating. If you're not, stay warm. Or I guess if you're in a really hot climate, stay cool. And we'll talk to you all next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.